Chapter 6. The one the gods refused to ignore. The battlefield changed the moment Patroclus entered it, wearing the armor of Achilles. Not because a new warrior had arrived, because everyone believed an old certainty had returned. The reaction spread faster than orders could. Greek soldiers who had spent weeks fighting cautiously surged forward with sudden confidence. Trojan formations tightened immediately in response. The armor alone was enough to alter the behavior of two armies. Patroclus felt it instantly. The war no longer resisted movement the same way. It yielded to it. Lines that had stalled for days suddenly collapsed under pressure. Greek advances regained momentum so quickly, it almost felt unnatural. And for the first time since Achilles withdrew, the battlefield began resolving itself again. Not lingering, not drifting, ending. From across the field, Hector saw the armor and understood what it meant, or thought he did. His expression hardened immediately. Achilles. Not fear, recognition. Trojan commanders began repositioning around Hector at once, because if Achilles had truly returned, then the war itself had just changed shape again. Patroclus moved through the battlefield with growing force, not because he was becoming Achilles, but because everyone around him was reacting as if he already was. That belief became momentum, and momentum became collapse. Greek soldiers pushed harder than they had in weeks. Trojan resistance fractured faster than expected. Everywhere Patroclus appeared, the battle shortened, and slowly, dangerously, success began changing him too, not into arrogance, into continuation, because each victory made the next advance feel necessary. He pushed farther than intended, closer to Troy, closer to the walls themselves, and somewhere beyond the movement of men and shields, something ancient finally took notice. Apollo had watched the war from a distance before, but Patroclus was moving too far now, too close to a future that did not belong to him. The battlefield shifted strangely, not visibly, but in feeling, like the air itself had tightened. Patroclus sensed it a moment too late. A sudden force struck him from behind, not like a spear, not like a blade, but like impact without source. The world lurched violently. His balance broke. The armor shifted against him. For the first time since entering the battle, momentum stopped obeying him. Patroclus staggered forward, disoriented. The certainty surrounding him flickered, and the Trojans nearest to him saw it immediately. Something was wrong. Then Apollo struck again, not to kill, to remove. The divine force tore stability from him piece by piece. The helmet shifted loose. The armor no longer sat correctly against his body. And suddenly, the figure everyone believed was Achilles no longer moved like Achilles at all. Confusion spread through the battlefield, not fully understood, but felt. Hector saw the opening instantly, not because he understood the gods had intervened, because warriors recognize vulnerability faster than thought. He charged, not recklessly, directly. Patroclus tried to recover his footing, tried to regain momentum, but the rhythm of battle had already changed around him. The force that had carried him forward was gone, and now the war was reacting to weakness instead. Hector closed the distance. The two collided violently among the collapsing lines of battle. For a brief moment, the field narrowed around them. Everything else faded behind the confrontation. Patroclus fought hard enough that Hector immediately realized something was wrong, because this was not Achilles. The movements were different, the pressure was different, the fury was human. And in that realization came the final horror. If this was not Achilles, then Achilles was still absent. The opening came quickly after, too quickly. Hector struck. Patroclus staggered, then fell. The battlefield did not go silent, but it changed, as if something had just been broken that could not be restored. Hector approached carefully now, breathing heavily. And when he finally removed the helmet enough to see the face beneath it, his expression shifted completely. Not triumph, recognition. Because in that moment, Hector understood the full shape of what had happened. This was not victory. This was consequence. Patroclus looked at him weakly through fading breath. And even then, there was no fear in him, only exhaustion, and something close to understanding. "You think this ends with me," Patroclus whispered. A painful breath. "It starts with me." Then the strength left him, and the battlefield, for one suspended moment, seemed to realize what it had just allowed to happen. far from the field, where Achilles still remained apart from the war. The tragedy had already begun moving toward him, and soon the war would remember who Achilles was.